Yo guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan and today I'm going to be redrafting the 2015 NHL Draft. Now as you guys can tell, this is the first redraft video on this channel. I put up a poll on the YouTube community tab asking which year you guys want me to cover, and 2015 got over 50% of the votes. So that is what we're going to do today. I might do some other drafts as well if you guys really enjoy this video. But today I wanted to put a little bit of a twist on the whole redraft idea. Instead of just going for the top 15 picks in 2015 and ranking the best players, today I want to do something different, have an actual redraft if it were hosted today. Which players would go where and which players each team would end up picking. For instance, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs at number 4. They ended up selecting Mitch Marner in 2015. Now, they could have the chance at Mitch Marner at number 4, or they could go in and fix the defensive need with Thomas Chabot at number 4. So for today's video, I'm factoring in both best player available and team need to simulate an actual realistic draft and what these teams might actually want. So, how will the top 15 actually end up, and where does each player end up in my 2015 redraft? Watch till the end for all my picks and opinions, and of course hit that subscribe button if you're new. Now I'm just going to warn you guys, these redraft picks look a lot different from my actual player rankings, but that's why the team need picks makes this draft a lot more special and the top 15 a lot more unpredictable. But we go into the number 1 pick, and starting us out in the 2015 NHL redraft, coming at number 1, the Edmonton Oilers will select Connor McDavid. And even though again a lot of this is based on team need, Edmonton is Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid is the Edmonton Oilers, and no matter who picks number 1, Connor McDavid is the best player in the draft and will go first overall. But then we get on to the second overall pick with the Buffalo Sabres, and although this is a little more balanced, there might be some other contenders. Once again at number 2, it will stay the same, and Jack Eichel will be selected second overall by the Buffalo Sabres. He is their franchise at this point. He is the main man, and again, even though we're factoring in team need, Buffalo needs a center. If they did a redraft, if all these players were taken off the board and reselected in the 2015 draft, Buffalo would once again need Jack Eichel, and it would make sense. For Buffalo, I think Jack Eichel might be the second best player in the draft, and at this point, that's the franchise leader. I don't think there's any reason to take anybody else at this point. But now coming in at number 3 with the Arizona Coyotes, and factoring in both team need and best player available, the Arizona Coyotes at number 3 will select Sebastian Aho. Now, I'm not sure if Aho is the third best player in the draft. He might be, but in terms of what Arizona needs, that top line center, Sebastian Aho can be that for them. And especially offensively. In 68 games, he was able to get 38 goals, and that goal scoring is what Arizona needs. Even though they got 2 top 6 centers in Dvorak and Schmaltz, just thinking of a 3 center combination of Aho, Dvorak, and Schmaltz makes it a lot better for Arizona. And obviously, they got Dylan Strome in 2015. I think they redo that pick, and Sebastian Aho is a pretty healthy upgrade. Now, coming in at number 4, and just like the Arizona pick, this one is pretty hotly contested. To me, it's between Mitch Marner and Thomas Chabot, who Toronto would end up picking. And again, with this redraft, we're factoring in both best player available, but also a lot on team need. For Toronto, when we look at their forwards, they have Austin Matthews, John Tavares, William Nylander, Kasperi Kapanen, Andreas Johnsson, Zach Hyman. They can definitely afford to lose Mitch Marner. And although, yes, it would hurt them a lot, they would still be a pretty great offensive team. When we look at that defense, you have Morgan Rielly, Jake Muzzin, Travis Dermott, when healthy, and pretty much nothing else. For a team like that, if they want to be a more overall complete team, especially defensively, to me, I think coming at number 4, they take Thomas Chabot. Yes, Mitch Marner would be a great thing to have on that team if we did a redraft, all the players cycling back for the draft, but to me, Thomas Chabot, what he brings on the two-way game, for Toronto especially, is almost too good to pass up. And now the top 4 complete with Sebastian Aho at number 3 and Thomas Chabot at number 4. Because of Toronto's defensive need, you have guys like Mitch Marner, Mathew, Barzal still on the board. And you guys can start to see how unique and interesting this gets when you have all these guys still left. But coming at number 5, the Carolina Hurricanes. Originally at this spot, they took Noah Hanifin, and I think they will take a forward in this spot, and that will be Mitch Marner. I was kind of contemplating if they would go for Mathew Barzal, but they could still survive center-wise without Sebastian Aho. They still have Vincent Trocheck, which would be a big add if they were to not get Aho, and also Jordan Staal, who is very serviceable. But on that wing, you could have a potential line of Svechnikov, Vincent Trocheck, and Mitch Marner. That's not bad whatsoever. Now coming in at number 6 with the New Jersey Devils, in this spot they ended up selecting Pavel Zacha originally, and no, they're not selecting Pavel Zacha again. To me, at number 6 in New Jersey, the Devils will select Mikko Rantanen. Now it is between him and Mathew Barzal, but I think New Jersey will go for the winger. You already have center-wise going forward Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes, and although Mathew Barzal will be fantastic, I think they'll go for the wing. And right wing is already pretty good for New Jersey. They have Kyle Palmieri and Nikita Gusev, but when you have the chance to get a superstar winger like Mikko Rantanen can be, that's a team that I think will take the chance on him. Now coming in at number 7, the Philadelphia Flyers, who originally selected Ivan Provorov, I think will end up doing the same and reselecting Ivan Provorov 7th overall in the 2015 NHL Redraft. Now when we look at Philly, if we did a redraft, all the players going back into the system, that would mean that Travis Konechny would be gone. I still think in the end they will take a defenseman, and if they have the chance at Provorov, it will be him. We look at Philly's defense without him. Their best defenseman is maybe Travis Sanheim, maybe Matt Niskanen. That's not all that great. Provorov has been absolutely amazing for Philly defensively this year, has taken some big steps up. That's a guy that is now, I think, pretty underrated. His contract looking a lot better now, and that's a main core piece of Philly that if they end up losing, I'm not sure they can really survive defensively without him. And now coming in at number 8 with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and originally they selected Zach Werenski, and I really don't think at that spot they would do the same. Especially with Mathew Barzal on the board, I think 8th overall the Blue Jackets will select Mathew Barzal. Now, defensively, yes, there would be a little bit of correction to be made, but they still have Seth Jones, David Savard, and some other solid defensive guys there. And Zach Werenski, I don't think would be a huge loss. Meanwhile, you get a guy like Mathew Barzal, who I think in his prime can score over a point per game. Then you have the top 2 center core of Pierre-Luc Dubois and Mathew Barzal. And for a team that is in need of offense, I think that's a pretty good pairing to have, in my opinion. And now we go on to the San Jose Sharks for the 9th overall pick, and originally they selected Timo Meier, and I think it will be between him and Kyle Connor. I think between those two wingers is what San Jose will end up doing. Now, if they have the chance at Ivan Provorov, I think they take him. Same thing with Thomas Chabot, but I really see that as unlikely because those two guys are really the top 2 defensemen of the draft. They, I guess, could, in speculation, if they really want to go for team need, maybe go after a guy like Vince Dunn, but I don't think there's too much potential for that. I think they will still go for a forward, even though there are some decent defensive options still available. A guy like Kyle Connor, who scored over 70 points so far, I think for a team like San Jose, who even has too much offense, is still almost too good to pass up. At 9th overall, they would definitely take that. And now coming in at number 10, and I guess we're into the 10th spot here today, and at the Colorado Avalanche's spot, unfortunately with Colorado they would not have Mikko Rantanen anymore due to this redraft, so they would have to get a little bit creative in my opinion. Now you do have Timo Meier available, same thing with Brock Boeser, and they would be good options offensively. But I think Colorado will get a little bit creative here, and at number 10, I think we'll select Kirill Kaprizov. Let's say the NHL season is canceled, they do a redraft in 2015, all these players back in. I think Kirill Kaprizov is at the very least a top 15 pick. And I think Colorado will be very smart to do that. If they ended up signing him this offseason, then they would have Kirill Kaprizov for next year. In my opinion, unless you're factoring in Alexis Lafreniere, I think honestly, Kaprizov might be the Calder favorite. And you line him potentially with a guy like Nathan MacKinnon, I think that's game over. I think Kaprizov can get upwards of maybe even 70 points next year if we see him transition fully. And even though losing Mikko Rantanen would be tough, I think a guy like Kirill Kaprizov would definitely lessen the blow. But now coming in at number 11 with the Florida Panthers, and originally they had Lawson Crouse, and yes, if you're asking me, I think they do redo that pick. It's just a hunch in my opinion. But coming in at number 11, I think the Florida Panthers would select Brock Boeser. When we look at their situation, yes, I think they would love to have some more defense and hopefully Sergei Bobrovsky being better. I think that would be the number one priority. But with this offseason, if the season is canceled, you have both Evgeny Dadonov and Mike Hoffman as free agents. They're not going to pay both, and they might not even be able to keep either of them potentially. But a guy like Brock Boeser coming to that team who just signed his contract, who is now under it, I think is a guy who can be big for that Florida team, and offensively, alongside guys like Alexander Barkov, I think would be very solid. Him, Huberdeau, and Barkov, that would be a pretty nasty line in my opinion. But now going on to my favorite team, the Dallas Stars, and at number 12, 12th overall, I think the Stars select Anthony Cirelli. Now, it might be obvious to pick a guy like Timo Meier, but in terms of what Dallas needs right now and in the future, I think, honestly, when we're looking at their roster, Anthony Cirelli would be absolutely perfect for them. Now, with their current system of defense first, Cirelli is one of the best prospects in this draft. Defensively, I think has the potential to win not just one Selke trophy, but multiple. And he's already been so good defensively in his young NHL career. But now we go on to the 13 through 15 picks. The Boston Bruins back-to-back-to-back ones. And forget Jakub Zboril, forget Zach Senyshyn, forget Jake DeBrusk. The Boston Bruins have 3 new chances, and I think they do pretty well at it. Now, defensively, I don't think they'll really take anybody because they're pretty set. You would still have Charlie McAvoy, he was in 2016. You still have Torrey Krug, who's absolutely amazing. They would lose Matt Grzelcyk, but I think if they wanted to keep him, they'd get him in probably like the second round or something. But they have 3 chances at 3 big-time forwards, and I think they go for all of them. At number 13, I think they go for Timo Meier. At number 14, I think they go for Dylan Strome. And at number 15, I think they go for Travis Konechny. Not a bad haul for Boston at all. Now, when we look back on the back-to-back-to-back picks for Boston, obviously only one really turned out for them. Jake DeBrusk, who has had a pretty solid NHL career up to this point. But I'm not convinced that he goes top 15 unless he seriously improves the play, at least consistently, and we just have not seen that so far. With Boston, they get 3 new chances, and I think they take 3 new players, and again, in that scenario, they get 3 big-time guys. Now, just thinking about that forward group for Boston, you have David Pastrnak, Brad Marchand, and Bergeron on the top line, and then you have David Krejci, Charlie Coyle, and then the 3 guys they add in Dylan Strome, Timo Meier, and Travis Konechny. That's a forward group that went from not too much depth to all the depth in the world. And when you factor in that defense and the amazing goaltending of Tuukka Rask, that's a team that in a redraft, if this happened, would be one of the Stanley Cup favorites even more than they already are at this point. But that is my redraft for the 2015 NHL Draft, again, based on team need and what these teams want going forward. Again, there will be eventually some people in the comments that just think this is a ranking video, and if you see those people, make sure to let them know that it is not a ranking video. This is what the teams need based on position and based on the future. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching, all y'all. Of course, with this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Comment down below your thoughts on my picks, what picks you think these teams would end up making, and what you agree and disagree with. Of course, share this video with your friends. Get this unique style of the redraft out there, boys, because I think it's pretty fun to do. And again, if you guys enjoyed this video a lot, I'll be making some more redrafts throughout the next few weeks. With this video, though, again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next video or stream. I forgot to also plug, watch this card or click this card for all my 2020 draft content. Goodbye.